In this video, I want to talk about when I started trading in 2016 to where I'm at now. I want to explain how I was struggling, what I did wrong, what my mistakes were, and my overall mindset back in 2016, 2017 when I first began trading. I have old pictures, I have old videos that I'm going to flash back for you all to see. Maybe you get some inspiration, maybe you learn something from it, and you could implement into your own trading so you could figure out how someone goes from struggling to profitable and the process that it takes. A little backstory, my dad used to work on Wall Street back in the day. I have family and friends to this day. Some trade individually, some trade for prop firms in New York City on Wall Street. So finance and investing and trading has always been in my blood. So now 2016, I'm a senior in high school. I'm 17 years old at this time. And this is when we start figuring out where we want to go to college, what we want to do. And at the time, I'm heavily invested in running track and field. I'm a sprinter, anything between 55 to 400 meters. I was a pretty fast kid back in the day. I wanted to become a very good Division I athlete. That was my goal back in 2016. So early 2016 is when I decided to go to Manhattan College in New York City, committed to run track and go for my finance and accounting degree. So 2015, 2016 is when this was all going down. Now the timing of this is pretty funny because in early 2016, I first watched Wolf of Wall Street. It's my top 3 favorite movie of all time. And just the story of Jordan Belfort, pink sheets, the lavish lifestyle that investing and trading brings, the infinite amount of money that movie portrayed. I saw the possibility of this, and with the finance degree and with the background of my family in Wall Street, I wanted to go down a similar approach. So at this point, I wanted to be what's called, a stockbroker, and I wanted to get involved in the stock market. Senior year of high school, January 2016, we started the new semester, my last semester of high school, and I had my economics class. And in this class, we're learning about the economy, economics, somewhat of the stock market. We're learning about diversification, buying and holding assets. And we played a competition and a game in the class called the stockmarketgame.com, I think it was, where we basically get $1 million fake account and we trade that account. We could see the leaderboard between classmates, who's in first place, who's in last place, who's buying and selling what type of assets, and we compete with each other, and whoever wins this game gets a higher grade on the final exam. So the timing of all of this coming together, it was thrown at me basically all around the same time with investing, trading, the stock market, Wolf of Wall Street, and I really enjoyed playing this stock market game. Now, in the class, we were learning about buying and holding for a long period of time, but the problem with that was the class was only 4 or 5 months long, and holding and trying to get a large increase in your account for 4 to 5, 6 months trading Apple, Tesla, Disney, big cap names was possible, but it wasn't the type of trading approach that I was interested in. So what I did was I was on Google in 2016 looking at the top stocks to buy, the best stocks to look out for this week. And I would read these free newsletters on Google and I would buy these stocks on my fake stock market game account and I would buy them. My account would go up, but it wouldn't go up slowly like my classmates. It would slowly build up, but in a high amount of dollars. Whereas I would take losing trades, but my account was increasing at a rate much faster than my classmates. I eventually won the game, and my overall even approach to the stock market to this day and my trading strategy that I currently still use has to do with going against the crowd, being not with the majority, and when other people are doing something, figure out how to do something else that's better. Everybody was just buying and holding Disney, Tesla, large cap names that it just didn't make sense to grow my account in a fast manner that way. That's when I wanted to go with these top gainers, highest volatile stocks, and I grew my account, I won the game, and this is towards the end of senior year now in 2016. Summer of 2016, I'm going through the normal motions of a 17-year-old, getting ready for college, hanging out with friends, and just enjoying life with no worries. Now at this time, I'm so intrigued with the stock market game, other things that I'm learning and reading about in the newsletters that I'm getting for free on Google. I'm so intrigued with everything that is thrown at me that I opened up a paper trading account because I learned how similar it was to the stock market game. And this is when I began to dabble with fake paper money using a real trading brokerage. I was trading the same way as I was in the stock market game in economics class, buying and selling the top gainers, highest volatile moves, the hottest stocks of the week, and just what other people were recommending in their newsletter. I was buying, Some trades, just like the game, were very, very large winners, exponential. And then a lot of the trades were large losers because some of the stocks just never hit. All summer, I'm paper trading. I'm reading these newsletters. I'm learning about candlesticks. I'm learning about the candle charts, chart patterns, just overall reading a chart and understanding the relationship of reading a stock price. Open, the close, the high, the low, level 1 data. Now, August 2016 hits. I'm training all summer for college track. So I'm training hard all summer 2016, Drake. And now it comes to August 2016 and I go to college. I'm well prepared to run. I'm taking classes that were very hard freshman year. I'm also taking track practice, which is extremely difficult compared to high school. I'm trying to socialize with my friends and I'm trying to enjoy college. I'm trying to enjoy the college life that everybody has to experience, in my opinion. So as an athlete in college, you have to do something called study hall, which is basically you get put in a classroom for X amount of hours per week, and you have to dedicate that time to do homework or do work that you missed during practice or track meets during the week and the weekend. So in study hall, when everybody is doing their work for school, I'm still paper trading in college. And now I'm really diving deep into watching YouTube videos. And I was just learning, trying to get educated and figuring out how to actually make money in the stock market. I had all this free time on my hands and I did absolutely zero schoolwork in study hall. I'm learning the RSI, the MACD, the stochastics, the moving averages. Basically, my charts look like this. And it was a mess. It's what every normal beginner retail trader, I would say, starts out with, because they think it's a holy grail and they think it's a magic system that it's going to make them a lot of money in a very short amount of time. This is what I call the basic retail trading stages. So September 16, I remember this vividly because it was the first time that I used real money to open up a trading position after doing all this research in the summer, all this research in study hall. It was time that I had a small $300 Fidelity account that I was ready to buy my first stock that I read in a newsletter. I bought the stock in class using my magic indicators and the RSI was oversold. I used all $300 in my account. It was a penny stock at that time. I think the symbol was like TCCO or TOCO. I invested all $300 in it and I made a $180 profit on a $300 investment. My first trade ever. I felt like the man. My adrenaline was pumping. I felt so good that I made my first trade. It made money. I had the best track workout and I really boosted my ego at that moment. Well, guess what happens when you trade with an ego? Yes, I made money on that trade. And yes, after that, I was taking other trades, making 10 bucks, 20 bucks. But my losers were 40 bucks, 70 bucks, 80 bucks. And after my account was steady around 500 bucks, one trade, my ego completely destroyed that account. And I lost 500 bucks on one single trade after that. Now, end of 2016, I felt like I was still the man. I felt like I knew what I was doing. I could make money. Yeah, I took a big loss, but I can't let it affect me. October, November 2016, I really thought that my issue wasn't with my knowledge of the market. I thought it was just because I had a small account and I was trying to catch such a large penny stock move. I was waiting for it to go up 1,000% or 100%, and I wasn't taking the profits that I needed when I had them. I wanted to grow that small account very fast. I'm still trading penny stocks at this time. As you can see from this screenshot in November 2016, this was my watch list at Manhattan College. I had just turned 18 years old, and what I did was, which looking back on it, was probably the best thing that I did, but the worst at that time. I took my entire savings, my life savings at that point. I'm 18 years old. I had saved $23,000 at that moment from graduation party, from my communion, my confirmation, and I sold Amazon Fire Sticks that were loaded with movies and stuff like that. I bought them for like 40 bucks and I sold them to just people online, family, friends for I think 200 or 300 bucks. So I made very good money at this age, but I invested my $23,000 into 4 separate $3,000 accounts. Like I said, this was probably the best thing that I ever did, but at that moment, it seemed like the worst thing that I ever did. So out of the 4 $3,000 accounts that I had, it did not take long for me to blow my first $3,000 account. I saw a stock go up. It kept moving up, up, up. And guess what I did? I shorted it as it was going up in increments, using my full $3,000. As it was strong moving to the upside, I was shorting that strength, adding on to a losing trade because it didn't make sense for the market to keep going up, and that I felt like if I kept averaging into my position as it would move up, if we came down, my average would be high enough that I would make profit if it did sell off. Well, guess what happened? It never did, and I lost my full $3,000 in that trade. I remember it very vividly, and it hurt at that moment. Looking back on this, my best advice is start small. I don't care if you have 100,000. I don't care if you have $1 million. Start small. There's absolutely no reason that when you're a beginner trader to use a lot amount of money and try to make a lot in a very short amount of time. Start small and build upon that. Why should you trade with a large amount of money for you if you don't have an edge or you don't have a system that's going to give you a positive expectancy over the long run? Now, at that moment, that never crossed my mind. I was a beginner trader. I was 18 years old. But again, it was the best thing that I ever did. 2017 now comes. It's winter break. End of 2016, start of 2017. I go home for winter break. I get a new trading setup, 3 monitors, and now I have a full month off of classes, off of track, and I'm really diving into trading. I want to fully commit my focus to it. At this point, I tried to switch up my approach. I'm trading just price and volume using basic support resistance, VWAP. I'm following other people's alerts, following other people's signals. And guess what happened? I blew up another $3,000 account in the early 2017 by following alerts and following signals without trading with an edge for myself. Second semester, 2017, classes start. If anybody watching this is in college, the best thing I could advise you to do is schedule your classes before the market opens, or schedule them later in the day so you could have a window between 9:30 Eastern to at least 12, 1 o'clock to strictly focus on the market if you are trading in school. That's what I did, and that helped me really trade as I was still in college. Now, at this moment, I'm still running track, but very unfortunately, and a blessing in disguise, I pulled one hamstring 1 week. 2 weeks later, I pulled my other hamstring. I'm out with both hamstrings injured, no more track practice, no more focusing on track, and now I truly have 100% dedicated time every single day to focus on the markets and watch them develop in real time. The summer of 2017, before school ended, I blew up another $3,000 account. I kept having red days, taking red trades, and it was messing with my emotions. I was flipping through strategies, price and volume, support resistance, wedges, MACD, RSI, just a basic retail trading strategy. I was basically doing what I wanted the market to do. If I wanted it to go up, I would buy it. If I wanted it to go down, I would sell it. And I would expect something to happen, and I would think too much on the next outcome. I was seeking for a cheat code, some like holy grail, or some definitive answer using these indicators and using these different strategies, something that's going to give me 100% certainty that when I open up my charts every day, that when I see it happen, it's a holy grail, it's a cheat code, it's a definitive answer that I'm going to make money on it. I was basically searching for something that is non-existent, it's not out there. So anybody that's searching for a holy grail or something that's going to give them winning trades 100% of the time or 100% certainty, I'll tell you right now, it's not out there. And you're going to be searching or seeking something that is non-existent. Use your time wisely in other aspects that it can improve your trading. So summer of 2017, I sat with my uncle who used to work in the pits back in the day. Now he trades independently from his computer and from his home office. I sat with him and he trades a lot of options, and I was very, very intrigued with the power of options. He made money that day, a decent amount of money actually compared to what he invested. And I was very intrigued. I was very pleased with it. And to finally see, life or see some type of success firsthand in front of my eyes with the market and with trading, it was very eye-opening for me. And I felt very good that I could learn from somebody with this firsthand experience. The biggest thing that I got out of this was he showed me his journal. He collected data, screenshots of all his charts, all his trades, and he simply told me, when you can define your trading to the point where it's unique to yourself, that you know what works for you the best, you collect this data by taking screenshots of your charts, journaling your trades, your entries, your exits. You can have this database that you can rely on, implement that, and use it with your real trading so that when you see something formulate based off your database, you could take it and the odds will now be enhanced in your favor if it's something that you know has worked for you in the past. You gain so much knowledge from journaling your trades. So guess what I did? 2017, I collected a huge database of charts, a journal, and I had a bunch of different setups that I was looking at and things that I knew worked reverse engineered them, and I wanted to start implementing them in my trading. Now, second year of college starts. I have new roommates, friends that I met my freshman year, still to this day, my lifelong friends. I'm still trading, but I'm slowly introducing and implementing options trading a little bit more, but still trading penny stocks with my $3,000 account. August to October of 2017, I blew up my third trading account, trading options, trading penny stocks, and I realized a large portion of this had to do with my emotions. I was holding on to losers too long. I was getting greedy with my winners. This relates back to even trading on my first account where I said that I wanted to get, large 1,000% gainers or 100% gainers. I would try to get the bigger move. I was getting too greedy when I really had a nice move in front of me. I was trying to make back my old losses. I wasn't respecting my stop loss. I was trying to be right. I was trying to be correct. Just the basic motions that you have to go through as a trader so you know now what not to do. Now, this is a really dark portion of my life. I felt very hopeless. I felt like I was in a dark tunnel with no light in existence. And because I lost a lot of my money that I, started with, it just was very frustrating, very dark, very gloomy, and I felt like there was really no way out. It's a big mental thing now that I look back at it. But I asked my parents if I could leave school and drop out. I really wanted to commit to trading. I knew I had it in me. I knew it's what I wanted to do. I was getting sick of school, going to classes, listening to the teachers, and I just wanted to commit full time in the comfort of my own home, not my dorm room with tons of other distractions. And my parents were not pleased with this dropout request. They said that, I'm not making money, I'm losing money. And I made a goal with them. I negotiated. I said, if I can make 6 figures by trading by the start of the school year next year, if I could drop out. They agreed with it. They gave me a little bit of freedom to try it out. They respected my decision. Now, at this point, I'm really betting on myself. It's a very large gamble. I'm not invested with track and field anymore after my injury. I'm not really so into classes, listening to my teachers. I'm fully have tunnel vision on the markets. But the problem is in my tunnel, it was completely dark. There was no light at all. So I really need to be persistent, and I needed to believe in myself in order to see the light. Now, November, December of 2017, this is when things start to change. I don't want to call it lucky. There's no such thing as luck in the markets, but I made a lot of money in these 2 months. No strategy at all, just hype names. This is the blockchain era. Stocks like Longfin, Riot, very similar to GameStop and AMC. A lot of hype, a lot of momentum, a lot of people buying it, expecting it to skyrocket up. Now, back on December 18th, 2017, we had Longfin, as you can see from this chart, went from a low of about $30 to about $100. It was one of these names that had momentum. It exploded, and I made a lot of money. I remember this vividly. There are certain memories that I remember that were monumental in my trading. This was one of them, making this amount of money in a single day. And during this November, December period with Riot and other days with Longfin, I made up the losses from these blown up accounts. I now had a cushion. I made back the losses and I had some now money in my pocket. Making money like this very fast, very simple, no strategy is probably the worst thing that you could do as a trader now that I look back on it. Everybody watching this that made money with GameStop, AMC, the hype names, I can guarantee you over 60-70% of them have lost that money to this day because they made money so fast and they got rich quick. Their ego went through the roof, and making money very fast in a short amount of time is the worst thing that you could do because you expect it to continue. You expect the momentum, and I could guarantee you a lot of people lost the money that they made. However, since I blew up accounts, I knew what it felt like to lose. I had the experience of losing all these money for these blown accounts. I protected this money like it was my baby. I looked after it every single day, and I treated the market now like I'm protecting my capital instead of actually trying to grow it. This is why in my videos, I always stress capital preservation over capital growth. Because if you preserve your capital, you will grow it in the long run. So much has gone on in the past year that I learned what not to do. I learned what I had to do more of, what's going wrong, what I shouldn't be focusing on, what I should be focusing on. Now that I had this cushion, I approached the market completely differently. I was learning from my experiences, basically thrown in the middle of the battlefield or thrown in the middle of the pits of the market. Winter break, 2017, I go sit with another uncle on Wall Street in New York City. I sit with him, I learn his strategy, how he's trading, and understand a little more of the backbone of the financial markets. This is the turning point in my trading. other than the monetary turning point with Longfin and Riot. Sitting with my uncle, learning his strategies, this is when I began to develop my edge. It was an eye-opening day, and he gave me advice that I still listen to, I still tell myself, and I tell all of you to this day. If something's not working, switch up your approach. It's almost like you having a stab wound or a cut, and you keep pouring gasoline in the fire, or you keep pouring alcohol on your cut. It's gonna burn and you're gonna keep bleeding. If something's not working, switch it up, fix it, improve it. It's not gonna magically work out one day. You're not gonna wake up, go to the market, and one day you're gonna have it figured out. You have to put the effort in, and you have to switch up your approach if something is not working. Review your mistakes. It is the only way that you are truly going to learn, he told me. You have to review them, you have to journal, and you have to look out what works for you the best. And whatever you have success with, you scale it up. And whatever you don't have success with, you're going to find what he called a common denominator in your trades. And whatever that common denominator it is, basic math that you learn in elementary school, you X out, you remove the common denominator, and you'll get the equation and you'll get the right answer. Price and volume is all you need. These guys simply use price and volume itself. It's how the market facilitates trade. It's an auction. And if you understand price and volume, you'll never go back to anything else. And he also told me that trading is more mental than it is clicking the buy and sell button. It's a big mental and emotional game. It felt like I had an awakening. The start of 2018 happens now. I take his advice. A few major things that I started to do was I religiously journaled. I journaled before, but I kind of put it off to the side. I thought that if I took screenshots of my charts, maybe one day I would go back and look at them. I never did. Now I'm journaling. I'm collecting entries, exits, times, my emotions, screenshots of my charts, and now I'm looking back and reviewing them. I had a binder full of charts. I can't find it. I'm very upset about that. I had a binder full of charts that I used to hang up in my room. It looked like I was investigating a crime scene with all the charts and all the pictures held up on the bulletin board. And I would go into the market now knowing the setups that worked out the best. I would reverse engineer it and focus on what worked the best. I traded small now. I wasn't trading with large size that one trade could blow up my account. I'm still trading options, still trading penny stocks. I'm trading with small size now that one trade is not gonna blow up my account, that I can manage my risk. I'm implementing stop losses, risk management, and I'm working on my emotions. I'm diving heavily into trading psychology, the human brain, Mozart, just the overall connection to our brains and our decisions, our habits, and trading psychology. Brett Steinbarger, Mark Douglas. Switch up your mindset and a lot changes. And that's what my journey was about at that time, was switching my mindset, focusing on the technicals, strictly trading price and volume, and collecting this database. I began to develop my edge, and I truly, to this day, I stress it, I recommend everybody to do it. Journal your trades, dive into psychology, because these are the two most important concepts and things that I implemented that changed my trading, and I have zero regrets for doing it. It takes a large amount of time. It takes a lot of effort. If you take the easy way out and you don't do it, you're never going to be successful. But journaling and psychology propelled me forward from someone who was struggling to slowly starting to see success and see light at the end of my tunnel. I woke up every day with confidence in my trading. I knew the setups that I needed to take. I knew the trades of my journal that I need to scale up on, trade larger size, or maybe trades that I should not take. To this day, still to this day in 2022, I read trading psychology books. Whenever I read my journal or read my books, the next day I have a great trading day. I execute well, I make a lot of money, and I follow my process. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a refresh. I don't know if it's blocking out the other fog. But to this day, if I review my journal and read it, let's just say a chapter of a psychology book, I trade very, very well the following day. And at this point in 2018, I'm slowly starting to grow my account. I'm not taking the big losses anymore that are hurting my account. My losses are small, my wins are small, and I have some trades that are hitting very large that are giving me more of a cushion and growing my account. I'm making my way to the $100,000 mark. I'm not so close yet, but I'm starting to see the end in sight. I'm not going to class. I'm not doing any of the work. I was completely disregarding the education side to trading. Again, I bet on myself. I don't recommend anybody watching this to do this. Everybody's unique. Everybody's different. But I bet on myself. I was getting C's in classes. I wasn't going to my tests. I was copying all the exams from my classmates. I wasn't doing anything. I was lazy. I was sitting at my desk all day trading in the market, reviewing, journaling. And here's a video of me in the dorm room as the fire alarm was going off, and I did not go outside because I was in a trade. And this is the time that I met my good buddy Dylan, and he works on Wall Street now. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And he basically saw in my dorm room, I had all these monitors, this nice setup, and he thought I was a gamer until he saw the charts. He was intrigued and he wanted to know more about it. I let him sit with me for a while. He learned candle charts, he learned about the stock market, and now he works on Wall Street. And summer of 2018, I hit the goal, and it's an accomplishment that I think about to this day, because it really goes to show you that if you are in a dark place or you feel like you're hopeless or lost in the market, there is a way out once you switch up your approach and figure out what works for you the best, doing the right things in the market. At this point, I'm strictly focusing on price and volume analysis, and I'm strictly trading options. Here was another trade on FedEx, and this is completely opposite of the first 2 years that I had in the market. What seemed dark and gloomy at one point was now bright and prosperous. I'm finally seeing light. I finally have an edge. I'm strictly trading options now. I didn't go back to school. I'm trading full time, and I'm following the same system throughout the year. Now, another day that I vividly remember is a day before my birthday in 2018. The stock market had a very large sell-off, and I was trading options on Amazon. The put contracts on Amazon absolutely exploded from like $1 to about 27 bucks, and I made a lot of money on this one trade, over half of what was in my trading account, and I really felt good a day before my birthday because I went out for dinner that night. Now, at the end of 2018, everybody starts going back to school. I'm left in my hometown without my friends besides my one friend, and I basically did nothing besides trade, get better mentally, get better physically, and get better behind the screens. Now, since I had all this free time in 2018, after the market was closed, I needed something to do. I wanted to invest my money, and I bought my first house flip at the end of 2018. Now, here's pictures of the house. I got it for a really, really good price. The house was not in bad shape. I could afford it. I could still have money in my trading account. And I just did some minor cosmetic changes, and I sold it for a few months later for a really, really good profit. Now, here's some pictures of the house when it was done. It was completed. All the work was over with. This was during the inspection. I went to the inspection, still trading. Again, trading gives you the freedom to work anywhere and to do what you want and when you want to do it. Now, 2019 comes. I get a lot more experience on Wall Street. I go there to trade. I go sit with other traders. I'm going with my buddy Dylan. Here's a video of us in the office. And these guys really switched my mindset about the market, understanding price and volume, how the market auctions, how it facilitates trade. These guys don't even use charts. So there's tons of different strategies you could use, but the overall core basis to every strategy is price and volume moves the market. I'm making very good gains now in 2019. Here's a nice setup on Tesla. I'm journaling still, taking screenshots of all my charts, annotating them. I'm reviewing them. I'm really honing in on the auction of the market, price and volume analysis. Everything that I stress in all my videos to this day from 2019 and on, nothing has changed. Now, it's vital to understand this, that the market does change. So we have to change and flex and adapt with it. But the core basis to my strategy has not changed in over 4.5, 5 years. Understanding market context, overall volume, and understanding that the market is like the environment. It's like the seasons outside. In the wintertime, we're not gonna go outside shirtless. And in the summertime, we're not gonna go on with a winter jacket. So we have to adapt and adjust to the conditions that the market presents us. That's vital, and it's very key to go with the flows of the market, change with it, but make sure the core is always the same. I'm truly blessed for this journey. I'm not one to really make a video like this, but I truly am. There's no destination. Do not have a destination in mind. Focus on the journey. Once you get to the top, or you think you're at the top, there's always gonna be another hill to climb or another mountain to get past. Focus on the next step. Have gratitude for where you're at now, because you will look back on it and say, wow, I wish I could go back there. Or back then taught me a lot of lessons to what I know now. So focus on the journey. Be grateful for every step that you take, because every step is a learning lesson. There's never true losses in trading if you learn from it. I would not be the trader that I am today if it wasn't for my past mistakes. They shaped me, they mold me. And you have to go on that journey in order to get over the mountain and get over the hump. A lot of people just want to get placed over the hump, and they don't take the journey and they don't embrace the journey. They want the easy way out, and they're basically robbing themselves of the necessary journey of self-exploration that needs to get taken in order to see success. Years of screen time and experience compound over time. Screen time and experience is everything in the market. If I didn't have the experience or I didn't have the screen time, I wouldn't know what not to do. And you subconsciously build these connections that you may not even be aware of. They compound over time. Every year since 2016, I have significantly progressed year by year. Why is that? Is I'm gaining my screen time and experience. But you got to journal all your trades, review your charts, dive into psychology, and get proper market education. You need to be educated the right way. It's vital. If you get down the wrong road, it's very hard to get back and get off that road. You need to make sure you're on the right road when you're starting your trading journey and not on the wrong one. Focus on price and volume. Don't think like everybody else thinks. Switch up the approach. Psychology, journal, and review all your trades. My daily life activities subconsciously bleed into my trading results. If I'm not disciplined in real life, I'm not going to be disciplined in the market. If something's bothering me in real life and my mind is not clear outside of the screens, then guess what? If I get behind the screens, my mind's not going to be any more clearer. So everything that we do in our daily lives, physically, mentally, emotionally, subconsciously shows in our trading performance and our results. I'm very disciplined. I wake up every day at 4 a.m. I work out. I get my mind right. I'm at peak performance when the market opens up. If you are not at peak performance, you are not going to trade at your full potential. You want to make sure the odds are in your favor. How do you make sure they're in your favor? You're at full potential. And a lot of this has to do with your environment. If you're not in the right environment outside of the markets, when you get behind the screens, do you think your environment's going to change or your environment's going to make you any better? Absolutely not. So environment, mentality, emotions, physically, mentally are everything. It subconsciously affects our trading. And just focus on the process. Forget the profits. The profits come. They're a byproduct of the process. Trading is a skill that can compound you an infinite amount of money and give you the freedom to do whatever you want, whenever you want it, and wherever you want. You could travel. You could work from home. You can make a lot of money without having a boss. There are so many different avenues that is the byproduct of successful trading following the process. Enjoy the journey. I hope my journey helped you out. I'm still on the journey. The book is still being written. We got a long ways to go. We seek improvement every single day.